Wolverine faithful, what's going on? Brandon Holmes, Blue Bloods College Game Time Podcast. I don't know if y'all have come down from the hype of this past weekend yet. I have not. I don't know how many times you have rewatched the game. I have rewatched the game at least 3 times. I am pumped. I am motivated, but it's onward and upward. Listen, we have a big game going against the Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday for the outright Big Ten championship and also to secure a spot in the playoff. This game is huge for the Michigan Wolverines. This game will give us our first outright title, I believe, since 2004. This will give us our first time in the college football playoff. This will be a big momentum push for us as we're going into early signing day period. And here's what I just want to talk about: a couple key things that Michigan needs to do in order to make sure they win this football game. And I know most people say it's Iowa, but you never want to look or overlook Iowa. Now, it would be different if this was in Kinnick Stadium. I don't like playing at Kinnick, and it would be a night game at Kinnick, but it's not. We're playing in Indy, but still, Iowa's one of those teams. If you let them stay close, weird things always happen. We saw it when we played in 2016 when we should have blew past them and we got trapped in a trap game at Kinnick and they end up beating us and then we lose the game on the spot the next week. And I think these couple things that I'm going to talk about will help Michigan prevent from putting themselves in a spot where the game is dependent on the refs. So first things first, when it comes to this thing is it's going to be about, can we move the football? We just put on a blocking clinic, this past week. John Madden himself texted Jim Harbaugh. Yes, this is true. John Madden himself texted Jim Harbaugh and said, that is about as good as an offensive line performance that I have ever seen. Now, if the GOAT himself, John Madden, says that, we saw with our own eyes how great of a rushing attack it was. And listen, I think we have to go back into the bag, go back into the playbook. Yes, we got to ride the bell cow and Hassan Haskins, but I love how Coach Gaddis mixed in some of that speed and space that he talked about. Man, he got Edwards out there, Donovan Edwards, the true freshman phenom, out there on some flat routes. He got Blake Corum in there, and hopefully Blake's ankle was a little bit better where he can carry a little bit more of the load. He gave A.J. Henning with the Statue of Liberty play. You got Roman Wilson on the outside. I believe if we set up the run and then we test the edges as well, and I think testing the edges is going to be big because Iowa has a big-time all-conference middle linebacker who's going to be prepared to stuff the run up front. So I think you loosen that run down the middle by testing the edges. Use that speed and space. I believe if we get them going lateral, it'll open us up in the middle of the offense where we want to go, which is we want to slam it down your throat. I don't think we have to go away from the run. I just think the run looks a little bit different in this game. So I think establishing the run is key. 2, we got to ride our 2 bookends. Listen, we have potential 2 first-round draft picks. David Ojabo's looking like he's number 15 on Mel Kiper's big board. Aiden Hutchinson is number 2. Like, these guys are going to be first-round picks in this upcoming draft, and they have to create havoc. Listen, but Iowa, they're going to ride Goodwin. They're good in their running back as much as they can. So it's up to our defensive endsmen if they can keep them in play. Listen, they like to run stretch. They like to get to the outside. If they can hold the edge and make Spencer Petras, so Spencer Petras is getting the start, we make him beat us, which if it comes down to it, I'm not worried about Spencer beating us. He isn't really known for him being a dynamic quarterback. What he likes to do is they like to run to set up the play action. And I believe if we can shut down the run, we completely shut down Iowa's offense. So 1, test the edges with the run game to open up the middle. 2, we have to make sure we shut down their running game and force Petras to beat us. And 3, don't get in our own way. We can't trip over our own feet. Listen, last week's game may have been the best called game I've ever seen Coach Gaddis call. I mean, from top to bottom, start to finish, every play I felt like was perfectly designed and drawn up. It was the best game plan I've ever seen us have. And I think they have to go back to make sure, let's not get in our own way. The beauty of what worked last week is we stuck with what works. I feel like sometimes in years before, we do things that work and then we get completely off script. And it's like, just do what works. And I believe if we do what works, if we test the edges with our speed to soften up the middle, let Hassan pound the rock, and then you get a couple of big catches. Roman Wilson has been showing up. Cornelius Johnson has shown us week in and week out he can get over the top top of the defense, and as long as he continues to make the big catch, I think we're going to be fine. Andrew Anthony, the true freshman, man, he didn't really make a ton of plays against Ohio State because it wasn't needed, but you have 3 receivers on the outside who can really do some damage, and let's not forget about A.J. Henning on the end around or some way to get him in space. But let's find the things that work early, and let's ride those things into the ground. We don't have to overcomplicate it. I don't think we need a intricate, detailed game plan. I think we stick with what worked, what helped us win at Ohio State, which is going to be a little tougher to run the rock right down the middle. That's what I'm saying. Test the edges, get the ball to some of your guys in speeds and space that has speed and space, and then hammer Hassan down the middle. Do the things that are working, and hey, all Cade has to do is keep doing what Cade's doing. Sprinkle a little JJ in there, and I think we can ride home. My final prediction, I'm looking at somewhere like a 35-14 game, Michigan. 35-14 Michigan, and we will be locking the number 2 spot down in the college football playoff. I'm Brandon Holmes once again with the Blue Bloods College Game Time Podcast, and that is your Michigan Wolverines versus Iowa Hawkeyes prediction for this week. Take care. Talk to you soon. Peace.